Testing, 1, 2, 3, test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you for joining me. My name is Jaikwab Ben Yisrael. Before I begin, I want to ask the creator to help me to do this video, Jehovah. Thank you for this opportunity. Jehovah, I just give you thanks for inspiring my brother to call me this evening at a time when I really, really needed it. And I thank you, Jehovah, for the brother that called me and encouraged me, greatly encouraged me, Jehovah. And I really thank you for it. And I pray the same for my brethren, that in time of need, that you would send a brother or sister to contact them too. And Jehovah, I thank you for the light, the new light, the only hope for mankind, and that you are electing brethren. You're electing people all over the world to come into the light, to lay the foundation for a better world for all of us, and a better spirituality, a better eternity. Thank you for this message, Jehovah. The glory is yours. I pray that you'll give me enlightenment. You'll anoint me to say things, to help whoever listens, that they may bear the most fruit and take the most advantage of the time that we have while we're on the red star. So I thank you and ask that you give me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as I do this video in your name. I give thanks and praise. So let it be. All right, brethren, thank you for joining me. My channel, a channel for faithists, brethren who can believe in the OAHSPE, brethren who are really incredibly gifted to be able to receive the new light in opposite against all odds, meaning the ability to believe in the controversial message of the OAHSPE, to go against the opposition of the whole world, and to hear their Father's voice, to hear the Creator's voice. And even in the Bible, it says, my sheep hears my voice. And a faithist knows that more than anything, what that verse means. To hear the Father's voice, it means to turn from the rest of the sheep and to go in another direction, to go wherever, like it says in the Bible, to follow the Lamb wherever he goes. That's the mystery of what's happening right now in the world, happening before our very eyes. I'll never forget that video where there was a shepherd and he had tourists come by every now and then, and he would show them a minor miracle where he could speak to the sheep, and the sheep would be in a pack of other sheep, all different sheep belonging to different shepherds in a grouping, a big, large grouping. And the shepherd would challenge the tourists to call his sheep. And he would tell them how to do it. He would say something like, say, and then the tourists would go, and the sheep wouldn't come. And about 10 people would try to call the sheep, and then none of the sheep would come. They would not come. And then the shepherd, he would step up and he would go, and it's on video. The sheep, they would raise their head first and look back like, did somebody call? Like, did somebody call us? And then he would go, and then they would just start separating from the pack, and they would come to the shepherd. Same thing is happening in the world today. It's a mystery. People cannot understand it. Only faithists really know what is happening to them, that they hear the Father's voice, they lift their head, and they follow that voice, even if it means they have to walk away from the world. The rapture is happening right now, right before people's eyes, and they don't see it. Do not see it. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name is Shaiquab Ban Israel, and before I begin, I want to do as I always do, and I want to read what faithists are all about, and I have some good news too that I want to share after I get finished doing what I normally do here. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit because I have so much, and I never get through all of everything that I want to do, the studies that I want to do. The Creator, if you decide to do something like this, go online and share the light, encourage, and you will get more than you can handle. You'll get more than you can handle, man. And that's the way you want it. Anyway, for anyone who's interested, I have links in my video description area where if you want, you could donate to a prison. I got a link there where you can send OAHSPE to prison ministries. They got links where you can send them all over the world, all over the United States, man. And I imagine overseas too, if you want to. I got a link there where you can send like OAHSPE or any other good faithist books, materials. You can send them, and this is the opportunity for us as faithists to redeem the time, to be about the to build up good works, and to make ourselves while we're on the red star. That's what it's really all about. So I got a link there in the video comment section of my video. I got a link there for Universal Faithist Cosmin. I got other links there, one for Brother Bayer, his Thursday ministry, where you send him an email, and then he has a 40-minute Bible study where they pray over, brethren offer things they want to pray over, and they say it with their voice, and then they say it silently, and they send it out into the ether. Send it out to the ether, believing that that's how the angels, they use your energy. They use our energy to accomplish the will of the Creator. It's a mystery. They use us. We, just like Druges influenced the world's people to destruction, to disunity, to wars, to fightings, to money getting, to loving the world. The angels of the second resurrection, they influence faithists to be about the Creator's will, to spread love, peace, love, and light, to introduce the kingdom, the foundation of the kingdom on the earth. The two people of the world, the faithists and the Uzians, they get influenced, we get influenced. So in my description area there, I got links there and information for you there. I didn't mention them all. I forget which all I have in the description area. You can look at it yourself. Here's a link to here's the Universal Faithist Cosmin website. Here are our ministries. Here's our creed. What is a faithist? We have faith in the all-person, the collective wisdom that is without gender. As faithists, we live by and follow these guidelines inspired by the OAHSPE Bible and the work of John Newbro. We understand that supremacy exists only in a weak, fearful mind. We strive to do good works in the Creator's name. We respect others' opinions with understanding and openness, as long as their opinions do not diminish the dignity or free will of anyone. We're willing to accept differences from others with no bias. We treat others and ourselves with love and forgiveness. We are kind to our actions and whole being. We give others the freedom we all deserve. It is easy to demand free will, but it is challenging to allow others to exercise their free will. We are able to admit our mistakes, take responsibility for our actions. With these guidelines in mind, it's easier to understand that the foundation of faithism is the study and pursuit of Amrath and Aheba. Amrath is divine forgiveness, and Aheba is unconditional love. For faithists, the cultivation of Amrath and Aheba are essential lessons on the path for soul growth. Many faithists adhere to a vegan diet to reduce suffering, but being vegan does not give anyone supremacy. All right, and that's like the creed, faithist creed right there. For anybody who's new to this channel and you want to know what it's all about, you can read that, and that's what we're all about right there. Now, I have some good news, man. Recently, the Creator gave me an idea I asked a question on Facebook, why not? What's wrong with having a church? What's wrong with starting a church? And really, what I mean by that, it's not really the word church. It's really like fellowship, organization. In other words, is there anything wrong with trying to connect with other brethren? Is the OAHSPE against that? Is there something wrong with that? I don't see anything. And so the creator gave me the idea to put it out on Facebook to ask brethren, what's the problem? What's wrong? I know that we have a fellowship in Brooklyn, New York, and probably other places. But what's wrong with us starting to establish a fellowship in our area, our local area? And the creator gave me an idea to put an ad in the paper, and this is the ad that's going to come out January or August or July 9th. July 9th. That's going to be the ad in the air. It's the Arizona. What's the newspaper? Arizona Star. It's the Arizona newspaper. I don't know what it is, And so the ad is going to go out it's going to start July 9th. It's going to go out into Arizona. And this is the ad right here. And I also want to take the time to say that if any brother or sister and you're motivated to do the same thing in your area and you need a little help financially, you can contact me. And I'm interested in joining hands with you. And so that we can get a little, and I realize, my dream is to have I don't even want to use that word church, but my dream is to have like a building where 100,000 of us can meet in the building and we just speak, not be a church. Not be a church. It's just a place we get together, and then we can get the orphanage built up. We can take the kingdom. We can, the creator, he could take it from there. That's my dream, that we all meet and we encourage. I spoke, and that leads me to my other announcement, man. The brother called me, a brother from Toronto, or where is he at? Canada. And Brother Murley called me, and it was a shame how much I needed to talk to him. And I think the creator knew it, I fell into a bout of depression this morning. I got attacked. I didn't think to call on the creator. I didn't get out of bed till like 2:00 in the afternoon, man. I came under an attack. I knew I was under attack, and I forgot all about the creator. I just couldn't. When you come under depression, man, and I don't come under it a lot anymore. I pretty much beat it, but then I got caught off guard, and I just couldn't even move, man. I couldn't even move. I was just too much. I had the blues, and I finally was able to move my body, get out of bed, and then the brother called me he contacted me on Facebook right after. Immediately, I knew the creator. He knew. He saw what go sent an angel. Go get Yaiquab. He's at it. He's beating himself up again. The brother he contacted me. He said, hey, brother, you wanna shoot the shit with me, or talk a little faithism? And I was so grateful, man. I knew exactly right off the bat, man, that this was the creator. This is how he operate. This is how he operate. He send you somebody or a circumstance to help lighten your load every now and then. And thankfully, I don't fall into that situation, that vexation, not like I used to, man. I just get attacked every once in a while, and creator, he sent that brother, and it was a shame how much I loved talking to him. I mean, it was nearly I to be honest, I don't think I could handle being in the kingdom, man. Being able to talk with brethren like that every day, I don't know if I could stand it, man. Truly, for real, man. I just don't even know if I could stand. I would bust open. And that brother, man, and me, we got to talking, and he just totally recharged my batteries, man. So I'm good to go for another 6 months. And that's the way the creator, it's just like, that's the way he work it. He know that we called to overcome the self, to overcome the ego, overcome the selfishness, the tetracts. And sometimes, you might need someone to help you, just come along, help give you a helping hand. And that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me today. The brother contacted me, and oh man, I'm gonna live off of that call for like 6 months now. I'm gonna live off of that one, man. You know, it was all love and encouragement, man. And he told me, testified about how he came into the light 20 or something years when he was a young man. He got a beautiful wife, and oh my goodness, man. That was just a little piece of heaven. And it got me over the hump, man. I'm sorry to digress on it so much. I'm very thankful to the creator, man. Very thankful. Anyway, on the screen here's the light here's the ad that is in the Arizona whatever the pay Arizona Star Republic. Arizona Star Republic. So this will be coming out July 9th, and I'll keep you brethren updated how it goes. So now I'm inspired to read something, man. The creator showed me something last night that I love. I was reading the OAHSPE, and I got led to the book of Osiris. Now, the name of the video is happening right before our eyes, and this here is going to lead in to the study. So I'm going to read a little bit of it. And the thing that the creator, he tells us what the plan is for us as faithists. That's one of the things about the faithists, about the OAHSPE. The creator, there's no reason to reject the creator. Now, on this channel, I do not like to proselytize. I don't try to proselytize. Me and the brother, we talked about that, and I told him that was one of my weaknesses when I first came into the OAHSPE. I was like I bolted out the door, going in 1,000 different directions, trying to share and get people to know about this, because it's really the only hope for mankind. It's the only hope for mankind, man. And you want to tell people, you don't want, see, let me digress for a second, man. Before I do these videos, I spend a little time thinking and meditating. I asked the creator, will he help me to spread the light, say something to take advantage of, to redeem the time while I'm on the earth, And I got led to a video, and this girl was talking about how she bought a house, and she put up a video and talked about all the mistakes and how was she said she came out of it, but she talked about all the mistakes that she made buying the house, and she hit some real rough spots. And basically what I heard that she didn't really hear herself saying, and what most people who make videos don't, and they talk about their problems, stuff like that. A faithist can listen to them, and they can hear what they don't even hear themselves saying. So she talked about all the struggles, how she bought a house, and then she wanted to buy a bigger house, so she did that, and then fate hit her where property value went way down south. The war, Russia and Ukraine and COVID, and it put her in a real bind, and she fell into a depression, and she suffered from anxiety. She didn't have the money, didn't have the down payment, couldn't make the more, all this stuff, man, all the things she went through in order to get the house, starting when she was a young girl, first working $1,000 a month, saved it, $100,000 saved up, put down the down payment, got into the house, and then all the problems started, man. She talked about all this effort she put into it. And after all that, it never dawned on her that the Creator is showing you, even in the Bible, it says, man, love not the world. You put yourself through all that. And even now, she said she came out of it, but she spends like 6 days a week working to keep up with her bills, with her mortgage, with the cost of living. And it never really dawned on her. It's like the Creator is like, in the OAHSPE, how he says, Creator, he said he made life like a mountain. And he does that, man, so that people won't tie themselves to the earth. And even that's the human spirit. The human psyche is pretty intriguing. Oh, let me turn this fan off. I don't know how I'm sounding. It's 106 degrees in Arizona today. And I got this fan on, but I don't need it on. It helps when you're in a power chair and you can't move your blood. You get cold easily. You feel it, if you can't move your blood, like when you walk. And I'm in a power chair. And so one of the reasons I moved to Arizona was because of the weather. It's better for me. And even with 106 degrees, it don't really, if you shower, it'll be like tropical to you, So I forgot what I was going to say. Something about the lady that made the video, and she put all that effort. She put all that effort into owning a home. And the one thing that doesn't really dawn on her is that's why even the Bible says, like, love not the world, and how the Creator, he made the earth like an uphill climb, so that you might get frustrated enough to want to know about spiritual realities, because you know in your heart that that's forever. Spiritual realities are forever, and everybody knows that, but they deny it. It's like you just willingly ignorant of what you know is true. You willingly ignorant of what you know is true. The human psyche is a mystery in that regard, that we know. That's one of the things about a faithist that separates them, is that they're willing to face up to the fact that they hear temporarily, and they keep that. The Creator, he even says in the OAHSPE, he keeps death before men's eyes. And even though he does that, people still they want to be willingly ignorant of it. It's like people do not want to face up to that. That's one of the unique things about a faithist. Now, I came across chapter 3 of Osiris just last night in my meditations, and it is astounding. It's astounding, man, because the Creator, he just keeps telling you every page you turn in OAHSPE, this is where you've been, this is where you will be, this is where you are right now, and this is, he just and it's like, it seems the human mind, it's like it's easily bored. It get bored easily. Yeah, we heard that before. Okay, yeah. So what's next? Well, here we are now. Entertain us. Isn't that what that song says? Kurt Cobain. Here we are now. Entertain us. It's like we get bored easily. It's like our attention span is real small. And so the things that, here in chapter 3 of Osiris, you just got to love it. It's a summary. The Creator, he tells us our future like 1,000 years down the road, but he teaches us that each of us, we're not called to be cookie cutter faithists. See, like everybody's beautiful, man. I know that sound corny, you know. That's one of the things that turned me on to astrology because it showed me people's gifts. People have gifts. You can do something that other vibrations, you can do something better. You are gifted in an area that other brethren are not as gifted in. I talk about that all the time, even though I'm getting away from secular astrology. I'm getting away from it because well, it's not important, but I do see the vibrations that people are under. You know, a Gemini, a Cancer, a Leo, a Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Capricorn. I see them all. You know, I can see the vibration that they are under. It's helped me in life. It's helped me to stop from it helped me to stop from stepping on people's minefields of their heart. Once you know the vibration they're under, you can, and you know how to, if you can see it, then it'll help you to keep away from stepping on the minefields of their soul and causing problems for yourself and them. It's not easy, man, because you know, faith is we're really called to humble ourselves, you know, and to um, well, that's the best term, to humble ourselves and to not give place to being offended, striking back, lashing out. You know, all these are OAHSPE principles. Let me read chapter 3, and I'm going to get to the study. It's happening right before our eyes, and basically, in a nutshell, I'm going to talk about the power shift that's going from America to the East, and to give you a small taste of what the study is going to be about. But let me read this first. Now, I'm jumping into chapter 3. If I went back up, it would be about Osiris. He's given the command, go to the earth. It's been overrun by false gods and lords. And then chapter 2, you get him and you get Osiris dealing with Utea. It's a false god and how he gets overthrown. And then in chapter 3, Osiris is going to another region and it's going to address something. The creator, I think, let me think. I got to stop and think for a second because I got to make sure that I'm in the right place. And see, it's the part where the creator said that, I think this is it right here. Let me read it, where he talks about how everybody is not meant to try to be like somebody else. He made us, when we graduate, when we go into the spiritual, we're going to become a more perfect. Our resurrection is going to be, I'm trying to find the words for a continual process of us becoming the perfect person that we are, not to try to be somebody else, but to amplify the person that we are in perfection. That's what that's what the resurrection is all about. The creator is he's not trying to make us cookie cutter faithists. Matter of fact, let me read it and I'll cover it. I think the creator, he's going to help me explain what I'm trying to say even better. Now, chapter 3, Osiris, it says, Osiris was the son of Jehovah. He was the Orion chief, means he was a high-powered god. Chapter 3, Osiris. Osiris spoke from the throne, saying, proclaim it in the east and the west, north and south. There's a God in heaven. Now, here he overthrows Utea. He tells his gods and lords who are part of his army, his hosts, go and tell the rest of the false kingdoms in the lower heavens that I'm coming, that I'm here. I overthrew Utea's kingdom, and I'm coming for you now. And he's telling his gods and lords, now go tell everybody in Haida. So it says, Osiris spoke from the throne, saying, proclaim, and this was when he overthrew Gal. Overthrew Gal. A Gal is a realm in the heavens. He overthrew the false gods, and he restored it, and it's called Gal. Osiris spoke from the throne, saying, from the throne of Gal, saying, proclaim it in the east and west, north and south. There is a God in heaven. That would transpire in Gal. Go tell the false gods and false lords in Haida. Haida is another region of the heavens where the false gods and false lords have taken over. Tell them Osiris come. Messengers started out for every quarter of the world, inspired by the impetuous utterances of the commanding God, talking about Osiris. And so, half breathless and in hastening speed, these young gods and young goddesses, the messengers dropped in upon the lordly defamers of holiness and told the tale of the overturned Gal, where proud Utea fell. And they, in manner and custom, inspired the false rulers to imagine even worse calamity and incurred. So they embellished the story of what happened to Utea, what Osiris did to Utea, and that much had been concealed out of deference to Utea and other usurpers. So it's like they spared them the things that they could have told them that would have added more. What's a good way to put it? That would have. It's like they spared them what they could have told them. The false gods about what happened to Utea. Some of the stuff they spared them information about this calamity. Much had been concealed out of deference to Utea and others, to other usurpers. So it's like they really told us some stuff, and they spared them. It said Osiris called his council and appointed new positions, new officers, having nothing in common with all past administrations of the gods of earth and heaven. So far, these appointments came from his Etherean host, and moved by the fire of his own energy, they quickly assumed their most honorable duties, some to build, some to survey, and lay the course of streets and places of habitations, and yet others to remove old hospitals and nurseries and make way for new ones, and for factories and all requirements for the millions of souls now scattered, lost in dire confusion, currently struggling in the outside darkness. Now, I read this, I say to myself, I constantly wonder about the first resurrection, the spirits, the newborns, and the afterlife in the spiritual realm right now. And I see when I read the OAHSPE, they talk about millions and billions of people lost, meaning did not make the resurrection. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, man. I just can't wrap my mind around that for some reason. I just tend to think, are they embellishing? Is it theater that they're mentioning these numbers? But the proof is in the pudding. The ratio is the same as in the earth today. Right now, it's like the OAHSPE, if you were to put a ratio, you know what I mean? I don't know how many people are on the earth, 8 or 9 billion or people, and the ratio right now of, let's say, faiths to people in the earth, what would you say it is? It might be 1 in 100. So when you read the OAHSPE, it kind of helps you to picture that these billions of people. Look at what it says here, man. I stop and think about this stuff. When you read the OAHSPE, you can't just run over it, man. You have to read it slow, and things will jump out at you. And that's one of the things that jump out at me, man. It says, so OAHSPE, Osiris, gods and lords, his helpers, they're building these new realms and these new places where they had been overrun by false gods. And it says they were building things, that required accommodations for millions. Look at this, millions of souls now scattered, lost, or in dire confusion, currently struggling in the outside darkness. Now, exactly what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? What exactly what do you mean? Are you telling me that millions of souls do not make the resurrection? I mean, it's a temporary condition. You mean millions? I know it even talks about billions in some places, struggling in the outside darkness. You got to think about this sometime. It says from which arose, so they're building here, and all the while that they're building this new, like hospitals and nurseries for people who are lost, and spirits and struggling in the outside darkness, all this time they're building, and then all the time while they're building, it says, from which arose a constant wail of fear and torment, strangely wild compared to the glorious light spreading quickly from the rising pillars of fire around the throne of God. So here the throne is being built, rising pillars of fire, and it's a contrast with the darkness and the wailing that's going on outside of this glorious throne that's being built. Creator's giving us a picture of the contradiction in the scenery here. Osiris host of 50 million, his host. So we got 50 million of these angels and lords that are building nurseries, hospitals for all these people who are struggling in the outside darkness. That's why faith is you shouldn't take you shouldn't take your with the light for granted, man. If you've come into it, you should not be taking it for granted. I'm telling you, man, that's a real danger in this reality, taking things for granted. Taking things for granted, man. Osiris hosts of 50 million attuned to harmony and precision were proceeding briskly with their labor, each one knowing his part and playing close to the text in every motion. And yet in number, these were as nothing. Look at this, compared to the millions scattered in the gloomy darkness, wailing beyond the walls. Sometimes you have to think, man, is this for real? Is this really, you know, is this real? Is this really real? Here, a road, Osiris would say, or which his hand command, and Odivan to those hapless slaves. And something comes to my mind. Back to chapter 2 here. It talked about Utea, man. It talked about the nature of people. Something that I want to point out real quick. The nature of people, man. It's in the world today. The nature of people, man. And it comes to my mind, there was something that happened that the creator, he shows us about Utea. I'm looking for it right now. The people clung to him, man. Even after he got exposed as a false god, and they clung to him. And then Usiri, he sent that goddess to raise up Utea. And then all of the people that they clung to him. Where is it at? I'm trying to find it. It's the same way in the world today, man. It's a bittersweet thing, man. The human nature. You can have someone ruling over people, and it seems to not matter with a lot of people. Where is it at? So Osiri came, he overthrew Utea, right? False god Utea. And I'm sorry I'm taking so long, but it strikes me about how people are, spirits are. I'm not going to try to find it too much longer. It says, doggone it, where I'm sure you brethren know about it anyway, where it said that these all these people, even after he was overthrown and shown to be a false god, they clung to him. I'm having trouble finding it. I think this, let me see. Meanwhile, the labor beholding them now. Osiris is wrecking Otea's kingdom. Utea gets exposed. All his deeds stood out in the light. All his evil deeds. Uh, I can't find it. Doggone it, man. I'm sorry it took so much time trying to find it. Anyway, you know that it says that Utea, I probably had it here on screen and didn't even see it, where it says his slaves, even after all he had done to them and how he had taken advantage of them, and they clung to him. And it's still the same way in the world today. You can have leaders who um, they will abuse, they will use their people and rule over them harshly, and people they will not break from them. They are loyalists. They can, they, they don't see any wrong they don't see any way that they're being used or abused and I just thought it was interesting the way people are like that. And the creator shows you it's the same way in the spiritual. Doggone it, I can't find it. It's in Osiris. It's somewhere here where it taught even Utea, the false god who got overthrown, he felt sorry for the way his own people were clinging to him, even after he got overthrown. So let me see. I can't find it. I can't find it. Let me go back to chapter 3 here. Okay, so it says Osiris would say, here a road, Osiris would say, or with his hand command an Odivan to those hapless slaves. And as if his thoughts had spoken to his host, his workmen are now establishing a new realm after he had overthrown these false gods and lords. It says, it is as if his thoughts had spoken to his host. His Ethereal workmen rushed to make his will omnipotent. There was no loss of time or space to inquire how the matter should be done, for heaven's trained workmen have learned the power of concentrated effort, and the power of knowledge braced to a single point by which the elements stoop to do their wills. To learn this simple harmony, for all to be as one, how many countless millions must rise up from the earth to be hurled back, discordant and powerless before Jehovah's sons and daughters. So here you got people, they leave the earth, they go into the spiritual, they get sent right back down to the earth. They become druges, they influence people for evil, the Uzians. Millions of people, man. They rise up from the earth only to be hurled right back down, discordant and powerless before Jehovah's sons and daughters. Yes, and kings, queens, and potentates, rulers, high strung and unwarranted conceit. Does that remind you of anybody? I had a thought today. I could be wrong, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but It seemed like when you read the OAHSPE and then you look at our reality and you see people left and right, rulers, people ruling over us, and they are taking advantage of the people they rule over and thinking that they're getting away with it. I read the OAHSPE, and it seems to me that these very same people, it's like you decide you wanted to run for office, you wanted to rule over people, and I gave it to you. Now, when he takes that away and you've shown the corruption of your heart, and then the creator, he flips the switch and says, now, here in the spiritual, you, those very same people that you ruled over for corruption and for captivity and bondage to where they could not make the resurrection, now you are going to turn around and you're going to raise up those people that you ruled over, and you will not make the resurrection until you raise up those people that you ruled over to your own benefit. And in that case, it kind of brings to mind a verse in the OAHSPE where it says, you are going to have to do without money the things you could have done with money. Now, I hope I'm not mistranslating or misexegeting that, misexplaining that, but it sounds that it would have been easier for you to do something on earth than it is in the spiritual. And it goes along with the body being an anchor, man. You know, it's another reason for us to be grateful, the creator. You know, an anchor, like when a ship sets its anchor, it's to keep it in one place so it don't move all over the place. For some reason, the body seems the same purpose spiritually, you know. In the spirit, it seems like the creator says you think something and you go there, you know. You something comes to your mind and it manifests, you know. He seems to be saying that, but when you're in the body, you can't just go here, go there, leave this situation, that situation. You know, you have to stay in a situation and build up an immunity to what is darkness and and to build up an immunity to what is darkness, and to build up a foundation of a light, righteous character. So when I was reading this, it just made me think, yes, kings, queens, and potentates, rulers, high-strung and unwarranted conceit, are cast down to beg beseechingly like a child, like a furious lion is tamed, his giant power worthless before the hands of man, whose strength by knowledge triumphs. So do the Ethereans from high heaven descend. And look here, they humiliate false gods first. They humiliate them. It don't sound like the OAHSPE do it. It don't sound like it do it. It said the Ethereans, they come and they humiliate first. It don't even sound like the OAHSPE do it. Oh, excuse me. It don't even sound like the OAHSPE. We getting ready to read where Osiris, he clowns this other fault. He clowns him, you know. I'm getting ready to read it. Watch. It says the Ethereans, they'll humiliate. And it kind of caught me off guard reading that, you know. They'll humiliate them. And then they will teach the false gods and false lords of Hated. Humiliate them first. And then teach them a lesson. Jehovah says, what more, O man, have I put upon you than to learn? And strewn your path with lessons rich in happiness, to learn the elements and master them. This is to be a god or a goddess. And where one man is weak, let two or more unite. A simple thing by which even the stars of heaven can be turned from their course. Look at that, the power of two or more. Job, he says, have I not said the weakest king is he who has the most soldiers? and the strongest nation where no soldiers are required. How then do the false gods expect by evil deeds to fortify their thrones? Lo, my Ethereal hosts come unarmed and by a breath blow away their mighty kingdoms. And so it was in Gal. Only one earth day had come and gone since Utea reigned over 100 million slaves. 100 million slaves this false god ruled over in the lower heavens, who daily brought up tribute from the earth to ornament this crown-like city. And now the dawn of another world stood supreme in the demolished kingdom. 100 million slaves who brought up contribution payment, usually in force, capitalism, and demanded as evidence of loyalty or submission. What greater pity is there than to see this is it right here. I thought it was in chapter 2. The loyalty of his former slaves. Isn't that Stockholm Syndrome? The loyalty of his former slaves, even though his kingdom had been overthrown and he was shown to be a false god. And the same thing is in the world today. The same thing is in the world today. I'm talking about Donald Trump, people who were MAGA supporters. They supported him. And I came across a video where he told them he bailed a guy out of prison who was a crypto, he knew how to build a crypto company. And the president bailed him out. He pardoned him. And then that guy, he turned around, the guy he bailed out of prison, and he started a crypto company for the president. Right when he got out, he started a crypto company for the president where he would sell coins, crypto coins, right, for the president. And the president touted it. People bought it. And then the president and his inner circle, his friends and families, they got out. When you start a venture like that, and then people, they purchase the crypto, and then when enough people get in and you make a big profit, then you sell, and then the stock goes down, the crypto goes down. That's what the president did. And a few people made $1 billion. I think 200,000 people made $1 billion of his close friends and associates, people who knew that he was going to push it and then he was going to get out of it. And they knew when to get out, and they made a lot of money. And the people who had bought the cryptocurrency were left holding the bag, and they lost billions of dollars. And a lot of these people are still loyal to the president, even though he did that to them. And it's the same story here in the OAHSPE. Creator is showing you it's a part of human nature. It's like you can't even explain it. We're getting ready to read it right now. Look here. Utea is pitying himself and what he has done to his former slaves. He says, what greater pity is there than to see former slaves still loyal, man, to their deposed master. Here, Utea coming to him in his banishment, 50 million swearing terrible oaths of fidelity to him forever, even after all that has happened to him, even after Osiris exposed him, his kingdom, the evil of it, and they still, his 50 million swearing slaves that he used to rule over, coming to him in his banishment. So he's overthrown from his kingdom, and his slaves still come to him, swearing terrible oaths of fidelity to him forever, a most pitiful sight. For the Great Spirit created man capable of such, even to wed himself to misery, for zeal and ignorance to prove a most foolish love. It's kind of like explains when a woman won't leave an abusive husband. People look and say, why didn't she leave him? You know, it's a spiritual quirk. I don't know. I mean, you can't understand it. And were it not for Utea's guardians, his very slaves would have smothered him in a desperate attempt to manifest fidelity. Then Yesta spoke to him, saying, raise your voice against this unseemly crowd. So Yesta was someone that Osiris sent to Utea to raise him up after he had been cast out of his kingdom. Female goddess Yesta. Then Yesta spoke to him, saying, raise your voice against this unseemly crowd and be commander still. At least save yourself. At least to save yourself. Remember how Jehovah gives this lesson to mortals to say to evil, away, for lo, to allow first one, then another to fasten upon oneself is as great a crime as a debauched passion unchecked. Order them to go. For love of self, which is your gift from great Jehovah, be yourself. It will be better. It will better them also. Utea, struggling, said, alas, fair angel, these were my slaves. The hardest blow of all is their acknowledged love. The fire of the throne of Osiris was tame compared to this. For hundreds of years, I gave these creatures pangs and wretchedness, and now they give me love. Poor idiots, I cannot drive them away. And so sobbing, Utea bowed his head, for such hidden great truths turned all his judgment into the darkness of his past deeds and wickedness. Even while crowding close on every side, the 50 million kept up their ceaseless assurances of endless love. Nor was there any way open to escape from their ignorant jargon and foul breath. So when Yesta saw how helplessly Utea had given up, she raised her hand, saying, what shall I do, O Jehovah? Upon which the light descended, and Jehovah spoke through Yesta, saying, flesh of my flesh I created man. From my own spirit I gave man the spirit also. And to all men alike I gave all things in my worlds. Okay, now here's that part, I think, where I wanted to emphasize, where he talks about us. He talks about how we are gifted in our own right, and making the resurrection is spirituality, eternal. The Creator's plan is for us not to try to be someone else, but to take us and our gifts and amplify it in our resurrection. To amplify, he takes what the gifts that we have, like I was using astrology as an example, and like, to give you an example, I remember one time on video, I was trying to make this point, how, if I need inspiration, I know to go to an Aries, and if I need loyalty, I know I can rely on a Taurus, or I need someone to communicate something to me, I can go to a Gemini, or if I need a touch of empathy and compassion, I might go to a Cancer, and you know what I mean? And so on down the line. And the Creator seems to be saying that that's what the resurrection will be. Each of us will be constantly improving, perfecting our gifts towards one another. We were all built with the ability to shine as a star in our own way. And the Creator is our resurrection is going to be about our perfection. Our perfection. I think we get into that part now. But some men are not content with what I gave, but ask for more. even that they may have their fellows for subjects. To these I have given an answer to their prayers. Behold then, O man, why do you seek to put away today that which a day before you did pray for? They are as good today as yesterday. You have said man can make himself whatever he will, talking about the false gods. So your creator is worthless to you. If you do not desire to carry their love, which is the lightest of all burdens, how did you carry their hate for so long? Nevertheless, if you desire, you can put them away. They are yours to do as you will. Utea said, how can I put them away? Okay, so I don't think I'm getting to that part yet, where he talks to us about how his plan for us is to improve on our natural abilities and character and spirit. It says, Utea said, how can I put them away? I cannot reason with 50 million. No, before I persuaded 20, the first one, so ignorant, would forget what I said. Tell me then, O goddess, what shall I do to free myself from this great multitude? Yes, because you got to remember the pictures. They're pressing upon him. You know, we love you, we love you, we love you, you know, pressing upon him. 50 million people, even though his kingdom is overthrown. So that's the picture that we're looking at right now. Yes, it said, do not call on me, but on your creator. Do not be freed from your own good, but for wisdom to do some good to them over whom you have long been a remorseless tyrant. So there again, you know, confirmation. These people who are ruling over people, they don't know what they're doing. When you're ruling over people to their hurt, they do not know what they are doing, man. You know, they think they're getting away with it now. Man, I'm making $1 billion. You know, these poor saps don't know that I can't stand them, and that all I care is that they bring me tribute, man. You just keep building my kingdom. You build. I even heard one senator. I heard this. Actually, I heard this on video. It was before the July 4th weekend, and they asked the senator. They said, "What are you going to do this weekend?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to sit back with a sirloin and a lobster tail, and sit back with my friends and family, eating and drinking, you know." And she said, what type of message is that going to send to the American people? He said, maybe they don't work as hard as I do. That lady said, but you get a month off every year. See? And then he didn't want to talk no more, you know? See? When she exposing and how these people in Congress and the Senate and the legislature, how they get like so many weeks off a year, but the constituency, they lucky if they get a week off a year. You see the imbalance? Why this can't go on? Why this can't go on? The creator, even now, that's why one of the titles of the video, or the title of the video, is this happening right before our eyes. The shift of power from the west to the east. Let me pick up here. It says, these are a small curse to you compared to your own judgment. For from yourself you can never flee. You shall undo your selfish deeds. You shall undo your selfish deeds. You shall undo your selfish deeds, which you have practiced for so long. So turn at once, make oath to him who made you. And from this time forward, you will do good to others with all your wisdom and strength. Utea said, alas, your words are wise and holy, but I have no faith. I have no faith. Yesa said, do not say this. Your words are another bondage on your soul. To say I have no faith is to imprison yourself away from the all light. Come quickly, or lo, I will leave you. For if you do not profess faith, why should I labor with you anymore? Say, I have faith in you, O Jehovah. I can, I will. I will raise up these that I have cast down. Utea wept and answered, oh, if only I had faith like yours. But for long years I taught myself that prayer to Jehovah was not required of one as great and strong as I. Alas, I smothered out the fire, and amid his sobs, Utea fell prostrate at Yesa's feet. Quickly now she raised her slender hand toward high heaven, saying, O Jehovah, by your power vested in me, I here encircled this, your prostrate child, with adamantine light. Down from above came phosphorus flames of light, which Yesa drew a circle around her small group, at which the multitude stood back and looked on with wonder and fear. But surging mass beyond pressed forward, shouting, Atea, Atea. Now it's 6 o'clock, and I want to get to the study, and I'm a little late. Now I want to find that part where it says, where the Creator, he tells us a mystery about ourselves. Let's see. See, I bought a new computer, and I didn't transfer my Tuesday notes. I was having trouble with the audio, and I didn't transfer it over to the new computer where I wrote down the part where it says that the Creator, his purpose is not for us to be cookie cutter faithists, like you want to be like somebody else, or the Creator wants you to be you, because he's going to take you. He knows that we got imperfections, but his plan is for us to start here on the red star, to walk in the light, to make ourselves, to work on our spirit, to work on our character, to work on our resurrection right now. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I'm going to have to get it another time. I'm going to have to get it another time, man. I can't find it. I can't find it. I cannot find it. It's a beautiful passage, man. I can't find it. I wonder if it's the first chapter. It really bears reading, man, because it's an incredible truth that faithists know, but the world does not know the plan of the Creator. Let's see. I can't find it. Let's see. And when they die, they enter heaven. First, the eye hens go like lambs and they are directed, but the second again, still full of inherent stubbornness and self will, do not heed the gods and lords, but mock them. Back to the earth, these well formed and stately souls come, set up heavenly kingdoms of their own. In darkness, eagerly pursue with most relentless zeal their former enemies. What a killer, man. I can't find it. Joby said, Do not think, O man, that I gave talents to men differently on earth and there to end, making my exalted places to be even shorn and alike. I did not create man so, but as one on earth is mild and leads on by smooth words and persuasive behavior, and as another by quick perceiving and strong will plunges in headlong, even so I carry them onward in my high heavens, perfecting them. There it is. There it is. There it is. What is this chapter? Oh, it's chapter 2. Okay, so I went past it. This is the Creator. This is the mystery of the resurrection of every single person. The mystery, the faith, this mystery right here. The Creator is telling you his plan for us. Joby said, Do not think, O man, that I gave talents to men differently on earth and there to end, making my exalted places to be even shorn and alike. In other words, it's not, the heavenlies, the spiritual realms, it's not all a bunch of people acting the same way, cookie cutter, faithists. We all have our own flavor. our own, just like right now, brethren, we're not all the same, and the creator is saying he wants you to be that way. He wants you to be yourself, to to evolve in the flavor that you carry to your vibration in the world. Carry that, don't hide that. Work on it, strengthen it, educate it, grow in it. Job said, do not think, O man, that I gave talents to men differently on earth, and there to end, making my exalted places to be even, shorn, and alike. I did not create man so. But as one on earth is mild and leads on by smooth words and persuasive behavior, and as another by quick perceiving and strong will, plunges in headlong. See, even here, if I may digress for a moment, I would, if I were to just get wild in my imagination, I would say something like this. I would say something like, as one on earth is mild and leads on by smooth words and persuasive behavior. I would say that's a Pisces. Now, it could be anybody, I'm trying to give you an idea of what the creator is saying about how we are not even, shorn, and alike in the spiritual. And then it says, and as another, by quick perceiving and strong will, plunges in headlong. That's an Aries, Aries type of vibration. Two different people here, and they are in the spiritual, and they're useful to the creator depending on the need of the situation. People fit the need of a situation better than other vibrations. Like, remember when the creator, he talked about some planets, he have to get out he have to, what did he say? He said he have to prune them, and then with other planets, he had to use gentle persuasion, It's like, it reminds you of the solar phalanx, where we go through this period of time and we go through that period of time according to what we need. Right now, we in a situation where man won't listen. He will not listen. People have become, life on earth has become close to, what's a good word for no value, has no value. When you can kill people, there's no more shock value to killing somebody, even children. Do you know there ain't no more shock value? Job said, do not think, O man, that I gave talents to men differently on earth, and there to end, making my exalted places to be even, shorn, and alike. I did not create man so, but as one on earth is mild and leads on by smooth words and persuasive behavior, and as another by quick perceiving and strong will, plunges in headlong. Even so, I carry them onward in my high heavens, perfecting them in their bent. Perfecting them in their bent. In your vibration, we get perfected in that, Perfecting them in their bent. Like, whatever you already do well, maybe you don't even know what you do well. We're going to be shown. We're going to be shown what our gifts are, and we're going to be perfected in it. The creator says, in my high heavens, he says, but as one on earth is mild and persuasive, people like that, they're real what's a good word? They're easy on your, to get along with, they're mild. They lead on by smooth words and persuasive behavior, like Fraggle Patty, And another by quick perceiving and strong will. They plunge in headlong, like Osiris here. If we went on to read chapter 4, you would read where he busted in on Watchak, that false god, Watchak. How ordinarily, if another king came to visit another king, you have to stop at the gate and then be admitted and go through that process. It says Osiris went and busted in on him, He went past the gate. He went past the guards, and he just busted down the front door and he went right into the living room, quick perceiving and strong will. He was needed for that occasion. Plunges in headlong. Even so, I carry them onward, my high heavens, perfecting them in their bent. But the wisdom and love, but with wisdom and love, till each becomes a son in his sphere. That's the plan for us. That's the Creator's plan for us. If somebody tells you something about you, they say, I think that you're really, I like the way, you're pretty gifted in this area, you're going to be perfected in that. If people see that in you and they constantly tell you, see, we don't really do that as much. Faith is, the world really don't even, really do that, where you building somebody up according to their gifts. And, that's not the way of the world right now. But the Creator says that's the way of the spiritual. You're going to know what your bent is, and you're going to be perfected in it. Right now, we don't really know ourselves, what our gifts are. Nobody really tells us. We don't, where the pull of the earth has us, it's got us in survival mode. He says, do not fear, old man, whether I have labor for them in high heaven. I have worlds to be nurtured. And here it is right here. He have worlds to be nurtured. They have to be coaxed at times. Some need to be pruned, and worlds to be commanded at times by most severe authority. Sometimes you need to bring, the fist. That's what he's saying here. Sometimes worlds need to be pruned. Worlds need to be commanded, by most severe authority, and made to know. See, you're dealing with mortals, man. I remember something that this one boxing champion said. He said the way he looked at it, he said respect needed to be beat out of people. He said that's something you need to beat the hell out of people, get respect out of them. You need to beat the hell out of them. Now that's kind of a crude way of putting it, but this is saying pretty much the same here. The Creator. He said he got worlds that need to be commanded, at times by most severe authority, and made to know that all power lies in me through my gods and lords. You see, here on the earth, they got a saying like, oh, he's weak, meaning, he's weak, man, and they respect somebody who's hard, That's the way of the earth. That's the vibration of the earth. Someone who'll do you wrong, who'll take advantage of you, is respected. Now I got to end there because it's way past 6 o'clock, man, and I have not gotten to the study. Anyway, I'm reading here from the book of Osiris, chapter 2, so you can read it yourself. And the point that I wanted to make was the Creator. He tells us that the plan for us is to try to know ourselves and then to work on ourselves, because as we progress, we are going to be perfected in what our bent is, and not to try to be somebody else, but to try to help somebody in their journey to strengthen their vibration according to the light. That's what it's all about. To take our gift and to strengthen it, and because that's what we're going to be doing in the spiritual. The Creator just got finished telling you right here, he's going to perfect every man according to their bent. According to their bent, if you like to do this according to the light, that's what you're going to be perfected in, because we're going to be used to raise up. We are going to be used to raise. It's all about raising up other people. Each one teach one. That's the Ethereal realm right there, man. They don't sit around, people, cleaning their toenails and serving them tea while they swing in cots. And, that's not the kingdom is rest. And what does it say? It's rest and repose or something like that, or, it's a mystery, but I'm late. I'm late for the study. So let's get to the study. Um, let's get to the study. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's get to now. How am I going to do this, man? I'm on a different computer. I forgot. How you like that? I'm on a different computer, and the study is on the other computer. My goodness, Yaquab. My goodness. The study is on another computer. The study is on another computer. Microsoft Word is on another computer. Doggone it. Doggone it. Doggone it, man. I'm going to have to do the study. Shoot, man. I'll do it another day. I have to. Shoot, man. So let me go to my room and I'm going to close. I'm going to read a couple of things from oh shoot. I'm going to read a couple of things from the posts from the topical study and close the video. Oh, doggone. I did not realize. I bought a new computer. I bought some other things for the Wednesday Bible study. I was having audio problems. They still may have audio problems for the Wednesday Bible study. I won't know until Wednesday, till tomorrow. And I'm going to be broadcasting the Wednesday Bible study. Hopefully the things that the new computer and I bought a faster internet connection. Hopefully that'll solve the audio problems. So in the mix of all this changes, I have not transferred all the information to my new computer. So let's go and look at some of the posts that I have, let's see. Some of the things every night I like to post from the OAHSPE and the topical survey. And also a reminder, if there's anybody who you would like the 6-volume set, I forgot to share that earlier. The 6-volume set, it's a supplement to the OAHSPE, and if you would like the 6-volume set, it's a supplement. I'm going to share some pages from it. It's if you're a little short on funds and you'd like the 6-volume set, I will certainly, you contact me. I'll send it to you for free. I'll send it to you for free. I just ask you don't take advantage of me and contact me, 6-volume set, and I'll show you right now what's involved in the 6-volume set. The 6-volume set is a supplement to the OAHSPE, and it's meant to try to appeal to people with short attention spans. And here are some of the things that are in the 6-volume set. The greatness of Fragapati. Let me try to find some other things here that might pique your interest. Let's see what this is from the topical survey. Bait some and use curiosity for others. Joby said, go to, oh, we were just reading this, matter of fact. Never fails. Phone call. Hello?
701. To repeat message, press 9. If you are not the person we are trying to reach, press 7. Thank you.
All right. We were just reading this, the story of, or no, we weren't reading this. Garakshi is somebody different. Bait some and use curiosity for others. Joey said to Garakshi, you have more than 1 billion Drujas in your department. Garakshi was a false god. You have more than 1 billion Drujas in your department. The mountains, valleys, and forests are filled with them, roving about, and you would entrap birds by rich bait. So shall you gather together all you can of these Drujas. But as to your mortals, oh, wait a minute. Who was Garakshi? Was he a false god? I think Was he? I think he was. But as to your mortals, you shall call famines into certain places and thus drive them to observe the unseen cause of things. Okay, this is from the first book of the topical survey. Now, one of the good things, this kind of goes along with the study that I was going to do, but I didn't transfer it to the new computer, and I didn't realize that until just now. But here is something interesting because in the book of ES, chapter 14, remember that part where the creator says, I will make them look up? And he was talking about, at that time, he was talking about the people at the time of the ark of, was it Osiris? No, Fragapati here. It's from the book of Fragapati. And he was telling the angels were saying to Jehovah, but if we've done all this for people and they haven't listened, then how are we going to make them, how do we make them listen? How do we make them help them make the resurrection? And so I think Garachi was a good God. I think he was a good God, Garachi here. And one of the things that Jehovah is telling them is that call for a famine. Call for a famine. Go to this place, go to that place, and call for a famine. In other words, like it says here, to drive them to observe the unseen cause of things. Sometime, remember we just got finished reading? The Creator, he said that he used, what was that word we just got finished reading? Severity, authority, Here he's saying the same thing. Call a famine. Get them to observe the unseen cause of things. Now, I mention this because we, right now, contemporarily speaking, we in a situation right here on the earth, brethren. I'm sorry I'm harping on it. I'm telling you the truth, man. We are in a situation right now where the earth is going to, the oil reserves, the SPRs, they call them, July 10th is supposed to get to a level where something is going, it's supposed to get to a level it should not be at. I won't bore you with the details, but I'm telling you about the earth we live in. Now, I'm not trying to fearmonger, okay? I'm telling you that we're going to see the different world when the Creator, when he allows people's flesh to get touched, then people realize they have no foundation. No foundation. Now, I hope it turns out to where faith can be used to spread this light and to lay this foundation. I don't know. We will see. But I'm telling you, brethren, without getting into the weeds about the oil and gas and the shortages and the already, you can see the price of cost of living is going through the roof. That's like the first raindrops. That's like the first raindrops before a storm. And it's like the mercy of the Creator trying to tell the world, hey, look, there's a thing called prepping, which the world is very fond of. Prepping, that's the world's answer to threats that are on the horizon. That's the world's answer. It's not to begin to seek the unseen cause of things. So we in a situation where we are going to observe the earth. We're going to observe the truth of the OAHSPE. We're going to observe how the Creator does things to get people's attention. We see that people will cling to an earth even though it causes them misery and hardship and vexation, and the people will cling to the earth a lot, partially because they don't know where else to go to. That's where faith has come into play. Bait some, use curiosity for others. How wonderful it would be to feel the light of Jehovah's presence with you all the while, to walk positively in the knowledge that He is your inspiration and strength. You can really be a blessing to all in your world. This can be a reality if you rededicate yourself daily serving Jehovah. You don't have to live like a monk or a nun, but you can affiliate with others of the same purpose and find inspiration and strength as you work together for the good of all. All right, I'm gonna close early. I'm gonna read one more and then I'm gonna close. You guys know the story of the Catholic red hats? The Catholic red hats. Have you ever seen the Catholic red hats? The red hats they wear? The red hats that the Cardinals wear? The red hats that the Catholic Cardinals wear. Do you, brother, know the story behind that? You know, the OAHSPE tells you the story behind that. Those red hats. And then I looked it up, and they don't tell you the OAHSPE story. AI don't tell you the OAHSPE story of the red hats. You see these red hats here? You know the story behind them, the red hats? The OAHSPE tell you. The red hats. The Catholic Cardinal red hats. Go to part 1. Now behold, the earth rose up against my chosen and sought to destroy them, but they failed utterly. And when they cast my faithful servant into the lion's den, yet he would not violate his oath, even though he suffered death. And I stretched forth my hand and took his hat, red with blood, and out of the lion's den. Now I forget who he's talking about here. And I stretched forth my hand and took his hat, red with blood, out of the lion's den, and I gave power to the hat. And into the far-off country of Japheth, China, I will take the title King of the Sun. Oh, you know what? This goes along with the study I was going to do. Transfer of power from the west to the east. And into the far-off country of Japheth, I will take the title King of the Sun and bestow it upon Yasyang, and neither Arabia nor Parsi shall endure in holiness. Now, without the study, I can't go into this, but this was part of the study about the transfer of power from the east, from America to the west. It's like first the empire was in the east, and then it came to the west, and now it's going back to the east because of the corruption that America is. It was taken away from the east. Now I'm just summarizing, putting everything in a nutshell. In the east, it became dogmatic and bound to traditions. Jehovah took the power away from the east because of that reason, and he gave it to the west, America. America became proud. They introduced capitalism. They introduced bondage and slavery and withholding of people's labor. And now it had to be taken away from us, even though America is going to be used as a major role in the foundation of the light. I think the things that are happening on the world now, it could be the start. We don't know. But here it talks about the transfer of, I will take the title King of the Sun and bestow it upon Yasyang. So it's like it's the and this little phrase right here is the transfer of power. I was going to look at that. I was going to do a little study into that phrase. It talks about the transfer, what's happening in one of the things that's happening in our day. America is on the decline. If you notice, if you pay even a little bit of attention to what's going on in our world, geopolitically, America is in decline and the world knows it. Right now, you might not know because it's like the last hurrah is happening. Stock market, all-time high, people who make financial decisions, they don't see the things they don't seem to see the world that people on the bottom seem to see. They're speculating. They're making outrageous speculations. And they do not, if you listen to the analysts, people who they work with numbers and work with trends and work with, analyses, you will hear the picture is not good, my brethren. It is not good. And some Uzians have understanding. Their creator, he leaves them in power for the running of the world, And so they might not know the OAHSPE, but they certainly have information that is valuable and confirms the OAHSPE, the time that we're living in. And the foundation of the earth is ready to be shaken. The foundation, matter of fact, it reminds me of Revelation 18, really. What America may be looking at. Revelation 18, King James Version. I think that this is ready to come to pass. I think that it could be this is what's getting ready to come to pass for this world we live in. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's America, man. The wine and the wrath of her fornication. She'll mix with anybody where profit is involved. And capitalism, for all nations have drunk of the wine and the wrath of her capitalism and democracy, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out, there is a call for faith. There's the OAHSPE. There's the revelation of the OAHSPE. I heard another voice from heaven saying to the faithless, come out of her, my people. Be not partaker of her sins, that you receive not of her plague. So there's another precious promise that even in Revelation chapter 3, it talks about, I will keep thee from the hour of trial to come upon the whole earth. Now I believe that the faithless will come under some type of protection from the things that are going to come on the earth. There's a historical confirmation to that stuff too, even in the Bible. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Look here, reward her even as she hath rewarded you, double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she has filled her double. See, it don't take much digressing reading this stuff. You can imagine what it's saying. If you could picture America, man, you really don't need much explanation about this chapter. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow. I shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Now, see, one thing when you read this about the Bible, you got to be careful. Oh, and I wasn't even sharing this tab. I was not even sharing this tab. This is what I was reading from. I wasn't even sharing the tab, man. And now it booted me off of Revelation 18. I'm sorry, brethren. I wasn't even sharing this tab. This is what I was reading, Revelation 18. Now, one thing about this, when you read, Bible language is always got to be damnation and destruction. And the OAHSPE is not like that. When you transfer this language over to the OAHSPE, it is a different world. Like it talks about fire, and here you get the picture of, the towering inferno. But the Creator, when he talks about fire, it's purifying fire. It's the fire of the light. You know how the light, when someone is exposed, when the truth exposes somebody, that's called fire. That's spiritual fire. You know how people burn when they get exposed, the truth, the light, it exposes you. It says here, she shall be utterly burned with fire, and you get the picture of the towering inferno. But the OAHSPE is the knowledge of the OAHSPE. It's the knowledge of the OAHSPE. Strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke and smoke of her burning. Now I'm going to end the video. If anyone wants to come on and you want to make a comment or anything, type a 1 in the chat. And when I come in the chat, if I see you want to come on, I'll drop the link. I'm going to end early. I did not get to the study. I forgot that I did not transfer it over to my new computer. My apologies. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. I think that's talking about America. It could be the world. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. No man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Now, that could be literal. It could be corporeal. It could, it could be talking about the decline of some type of devastation to the commercial system. The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones and the pearls, fine linen, purple and silk, and the scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels, ivory, and all manner of most precious wood, and brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves. Look at that. And souls of men. And souls of men. That's America. That is America, man. The souls of men. Capitalism takes advantage of the souls of men. I talk to a lot of people, man, and they always tell me how hard they have to work. That is one constant that I hear a lot about, man. Oh man, I'm ready to run out of power on my computer. How do you like that? I got a lot of stuff coming against me. I better end the video quick, man. I'm ready to run out of power. All right, let me go to the room. I'm ready to run out of power. Anyway, that was Revelation 18. Let me go to the room. I'm ready to run out of power. So let me go to the video. Let me go to the chat, see if there's any. All right, I'm in the chat now. Brother Bob, thank you for the conversation. Heathen Vegan, thank you, brother. Or no, Matt, Dave. Oh, Matt. I thought his name was Dave. Matt, thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate the conversation we had. Bishop, of course, Sharice, Mahalia, and Elijah. All right. I got to close because I realized that I'm now beginning around. I hadn't plugged in my computer. I hadn't even plugged in my computer. I forgot to plug it in, and now it's running out of power. So I'm in the video. Brethren, go to the video description area for links to the prison ministry where you can send books and get in contact with me for charity, and for Brother Bob's ministry and the Universal Faiths of Cosman, and also just for ministry and information. That's all I have for right now. I better pray before I run out of power here. Thank you, Joby. Thank you for the opportunity to redeem the time and to have this video and to try to do my best, my level best, to try to share with brethren, encourage brethren. I pray for the kingdom, for all brethren to redeem the time and to lay the foundation, to be about the light as best we can, Joby. Just pray for the times ahead for my brethren, that we will go through these things with wisdom and knowledge, and that you will help us to just to learn from the things that we're about to go through, Jehovah. And so thank you for allowing me this opportunity to try to redeem the time. And in your name, I give thanks and pray. Brethren, thank you for joining me. And until next time, may the Creator be with you. Peace be unto you. Shalom.